Hello and happy Thursday. So we are getting ready for the release of our new mini catalog. It'll be here before we know it. But before that catalog comes out, I thought I would play with the Carousel Horses tonight. I'm trying to see where they are. It's a cute little set, and I played with it a little bit before, but I decided that we're going to do a few more different cards with this set. And we have a birthday card and a Just Let's Celebrate card. And we're going to start with this card here because it's a little easier. I used the deckled circles, and the largest circle is the 5 3/4. And this is going to be our card base. And instead of trying to line this up and trying to get a good score line, what I did was I just folded it and tried to meet it at the bottom, okay, and just gave it a little pinch at each end, and then bring in my trimmer and using, let me just see if I clean that out, and lining up where I pinched in the track of the scoreboard. Let's get rid of that one. And then I scored. This way it is just a little bit easier to get that folded in half without struggling. All right. And then we have our nice card that rocks. Hey, Sheila. Hey, Do. And then I took the next size. Whoops. And this one is a little bit bigger than 5 1/4. So we have to cut this one in half. So 5 inches is 2 1/2. And then we need about 1/8 of an inch. So we're just going to move it over and we're going to cut this one in half. Now for this one, we're going to use half on the inside. And it looks like it will fit perfectly. And half on the front. All right, so we're not wasting any paper. And then we have our next circle that is about 4 5/8, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut our designer series paper in half, and it's just the other half to the card. Hey, Kathy. The card I already created. Okay, so that's how I got the card base. Let's get that out. Let's get that folded really good. All right, and now all we're going to do is adhere these pieces together. Now, to be honest, I do not think I have to take a measurement of it, but I do not believe that this will fit in a normal envelope. It's about 5 1/2. So you'd probably buy 4 1/2. So you'd need to get a bigger envelope. I would probably suggest a 6 by 6. This way it wouldn't get ruined. All right. All right, so there is our card base. Hey, Karen. Hey, Maureen. Thank you. Did Casey make it? Thank goodness. She's safe. I can't believe you had snow again. It was so beautiful here and warm. Like right now, it's 49 degrees, which is crazy. All right, so here's the front of our card base. Let's just go in here and add our pieces to the inside. All right, I'm just going to trim this one down just a little bit. I'll get my trimmer. This way it is got a little bit of a border around it. All right, so we're just going to get the inside of this card finished. Just quick and easy. All right. And then I did the same thing with the basic white. This is the 5-inch deckled circle, and I put half of it in the card I already made. Hello. And then here's the other piece. And then in the Carousel Horse dies, there is this scalloped edge die that I took a piece of, it's about 1/4 of an inch. Yep. And cut a piece out of, this is, I want to say lemon lolly. Let me just check. Yep, lemon lolly. And this is daffodil delight. I should have said that before. All right, so we're just going to add a little a little bead of glue and add this to the top of the card. Now, it's funny, I'm really not a yellow person. If it was me, I would do it, naturally in pink or blue. If I'm not a yellow person, but I just thought, let's do a different color. I have this paper sitting here, and I usually avoid it, so that's why I chose it tonight. All right, so I got to keep staying back. So I just added it to the top here, and then we're just going to grab some glue and then add this to the center of the card. All right, so just quick and easy, just like that. All right, now for the front of the card, let me pull the dies out so you can see. Here is the top of the carousel. And then we have one that is the middle of the carousel. And then we have the base of the carousel. And I actually cut these out all in lemon lolly. All these pieces. All right. Now for this one, it does cut these center pieces out. But if you wanted to put another piece in there or for a different color, just run it through again and then fit the pieces in. I'm going to leave it blank because I wanted to try to, I think my idea this year is postage is going up again, ladies. So when it comes to our, thanks, Stu, I know I keep doing that. When it comes to our cards, instead of not sending them, we're going to have to make them a little simpler. So that is going to be my focus. So people still send their cards. All right. So we're just going to take this piece that's the top of the carousel, and we're going to center it on here. Just want to get this. All right, so that is glued on. If you wanted to give it a little bit more dimension, there are slits here, so I could have pulled it up and made it bulky. And then we're going to take this bottom piece, and you'll notice the same thing. It has a little bit of an opening here. It opens up. So we're just going to add a bit of glue to the bottom of this piece. And I'm going to just slip it right behind. Make sure it's in there even. All right, so it is glued, and then this piece here, see how it comes open? So it's in between. All right. All right, so let's do some simple stamping, because I'm going to have to run this little horse through the cut and emboss machine, because I didn't do anything ahead of time. I figured let's just stamp together. We're going to grab our memento. I'm going to use some rhinestones tonight. They're retired, and I have so many left. And then before we get to stamping this, let me just grab a piece of scrap paper and color up our ribbon so it has a chance to dry. And I'm going to grab some dark Daffodil Delight. And this is the seam binding, the soft sea foam. It's retired, but it's perfect for changing its color. Trying to use up some of the stuff that's in my craft room. All right, so we'll give that a little chance to dry. Let's pull our piece of cardstock in. We're going to use the big horse, okay, and our memento. So we're just going to ink him up. Make sure he's inked up really good. And I think I'm going to have to actually ink up my stamp pad. And then we're just going to give it a stamp. All right, cute little carousel horse. Now these carousel horses actually come with a stamp so we can color its mane and its tail. And then there's an additional stamp. If you look, it's the saddle and this piece around its neck. Okay. So for his mane, I decided to stick with some Daffodil Delight. So we're going to ink this up. And what you have to do is line it up so it is in his tail and in his hair. And let's make sure I have it lined up right. This afternoon or this morning when I was making these cards, I had the mane all messed up. So hopefully it'll be okay. Not bad. All right, so there's his hair. We'll close that one up. And then I'm going to grab some Calypso Coral. And that is what I am using for his saddle. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to line up and stamp. All right. So it just colors in his saddle. And the only coloring that I did was I took some light gray granite and colored in this back leg, and just right there in the front. That was the only coloring I did on this little horse. I wanted to make it so it was just very simple. All right, so I'm going to grab some washi tape. And we're going to line him up. The die is actually a perfect fit. I'm just going to die cut this quick. And here he is. All right. So we can pull our card back in. We're going to grab the center of our carousel. And before I do anything, I'm going to grab some medium rhinestones. I'm going to decorate the top of this carousel. Okay. Then we can pull our card back in. And we're going to just adhere this. Now, if you wanted to make it so it would fit into a regular envelope, we could always decide to adhere this down to the front of the card so it measures 4 1/4. All right, it would have to be just about down here. So if you move it down, you'd be able to fit it into a regular envelope, okay? But I'm going to add my glue. If I am to use this card, I will just create my own envelope. So we're just going to add this to the front of the card, making sure it's on there straight. All right. We'll grab our horse and some dimensionals. I just picked a new pack. Here we go. And we're going to pop this up onto the front. Just fix him so he is right there in the center. I'm going to grab a small little rhinestone and add it to his harness. Okay. And then we have our banner. I'm going to put it on here, and I did this actually backwards, but it actually worked. So on this one, I am going to use Daffodil Delight. Now we could actually stamp and then die cut. I accidentally die cut it before I stamped it, but we have the ability to line it up and give it a stamp. All right, and it stamps our banner. Then we're going to grab our happy birthday and our memento. And give it a stamp. And then we're just going to pop this up with some mini dimensionals. And again, I'm just going to put them in the center. Pull our card back in. And we want to make sure that it at least stays on the card pretty much. And I'm going to line up the happy birthday. And then we have our little rocking card, okay? Just quick and easy. And again, you can do it in any color that you want. So let's grab our next card. Oh, you know what? The ribbon. Where's my scissors? I forgot to add the ribbon to the top. I looked over and saw the ribbon on the other card. So we're just going to add a quick ribbon. And the designer series paper, what did I do with it? That is the lighter than air designer series paper that goes with the hot air balloons. There's some really cute patterns in there. And I just figured with the Carousel Horses, it was perfect. All right. So I hope everybody had a great holiday, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah. Hope Santa was good to you. Is anybody doing anything for the new year? I know I'll be falling asleep. I don't think I've been up. There we go. That looks so much better. Yeah, me too. I like this bundle too. I wasn't too sure about it at first, you know. You get those feet, you just look at it and it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to make with that. But it just wears on you sometimes. All right, so let's grab our paper for the next card. I got a glue dot on here. We'll use that for the back. All right, so we're starting with it's this card here, all right, and it's a fun fold. Now I do know that they sell these templates already cut and folded, but with a little bit of time, we can do it on our own, okay? So we're going to start with, and I'm going to pull this up just a bit again so I can get the top of this into the camera. And I'm just going to pull out my template so I get my measurements right. We don't want to mess it up. All right, so it's 8.5 by 5.5. Okay, so we're going to take it, we're going to line it up at 3.25. And we are going to take our score tool and we are going to score it to the 1-inch mark, which is right here. And you can do it by looking at the lip. There's a little piece in the score. Let me take it off so I can just, instead of trying to show you. All right, so on the score blade, you'll see there's an indent here. All right, there's one here, there's one here. If you start at the top and when you score to that indent to the 1-inch mark. Okay, and then we're going to open it up and we are going to again score it, but this is 5.5. We're going to go to 4.5. So that's our first score line. Then we're going to go to 4.25. And we're going to turn it this way first. We're going to make it simpler. So we're going to go, we're adding it to the 1-inch line. Everything is 1 inch. Okay. And I am going to set my cutter at 3 1/4. That's where we did our score line. And I am going to score it down to 7 1/2. All right, that's that 1 inch again. Excuse me. And then we are going to, let's see, we need 1 inch from this side. So I'm going to add it on this side to 1 inch. And we're going to line this up again at 3 1/4. And we are going to score it down to 7 1/2. All right, so, or cut it, I should say. So we cut these two pieces. We measured down 3 1/4. This is 1 inch. And I'll do a template on my blog in the morning so you can see. But it's 3 1/4 over 1 inch, cut to 7 1/2. All right, on both sides. Now we already did our 3 1/4 score line on the outside. So just these 1 inch pieces. Next, we're going to go to 4 1/4 and we're going to score, but we're going to score on the inside of these lines. So you're going to go from 1 inch to 4 1/2 inches. And we're going to open up our scoreboard or trimmer. And we're going to come down and line it up at 6 1/2. Now we're going to score on the outside to 1 inch. And then on the outside, that 1 inch. Okay. And now we're going to go to 7 1/2. And we're going to score it on the outside again. So to 4 1/2. And then to 1. So let's go over it one more time. We cut from the 3 1/4 inch mark to the 7 1/2, 1 inch over from both sides. We scored the 1 inch piece at 3 1/4. We scored the inside piece at 4 1/4. We scored the outside 1 inch pieces at 6 1/2. And we scored the outside pieces at 7 1/2. Okay, so that is our, thanks guys. Thanks, Karen. So that is how we cut it. Now we have to fold it. So we're going to fold the first score line as a mountain. All right. This center one as a mountain. Our next one is a valley fold. Now, when I say mountain, it's because it has a peak. And when I say valley, it's because it's indented. Then the last one is a mountain fold. So that creates our card base. Now, you just want to make sure you get all your score lines and you get them nice and folded. All right. So there is your card. Step, it's called a center step card. All right. So there's our base. Now let's decorate it. We have a piece of Daffodil Delight that measures 3 1/8 by 3 3/8. And it goes this way. Then we have a piece of Designer Series paper that measures 3 1/4 by 3. So we're just going to adhere these two together. Let's get that off there. Just wanted to see which way it went. All right, so that's adhered. And then we're going to adhere this right to the front of the card. All right, then we're going to decorate this bottom piece. And I have a piece of Daffodil Delight. This is 7/8 by 5 3/8. And this is 3/4 by 5 1/8. So we are going to adhere these strips together. And I'm just going to move it down. All right, and while it is here, before I put it on the card, I'm actually going to add some rhinestones. It's funny, now that I'm using this glass mat, you can't pick anything up because it's not cushioned with the paper. All right, so I'm just going to put 3 on that side. And 3 on that side. All right, just to decorate it up a little bit, we can pull our card base back in. And we can add this right to the front. All right. So there's that piece. Now we want to do these side sections. And you don't have to use the same colors of DSP. You can switch it up and do whatever you like. Decorate it however you like. So we have, again, 7/8 by 3 1/8, and then 3/4 by 3. And all we're going to do is adhere these together. That's 1. And 2. Does anybody do scrapbooking? I use there's a new set coming out, and it's called Stippled, I think it's Stippled Roses. And I did a scrapbook layout with them. And I was thinking about offering it as a class if anybody's interested. You do, Kathy? I'm going to do it as a limited kit, but I did it with the Stippled Rose, and here's one. And then here is the other one. I just thought this set was so pretty. It's really a beautiful stamp. That's a stamp that'll be in the next set of catalogs. All right, so there's our card base. Thank you, Kathy. Oh, you do it for your son. Oh, that's nice. And then we have our deckled circles again. And we have Lemon Lolly 3 7/8 circle, Daffodil Delight 3.5-inch circle, and then the Lighter Than Air Designer Series paper, and this is 3 1/4, and then a piece of basic white, which is about 2 7/8. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to adhere these two circles together, the daffodil and the lemon lolly. We're going to hold on to the designer series paper, and we are going to adhere this circle to the center of this card. All right, so there is, oh, thanks, Stu. That's good because they're going in your scrapbook. Hello, Indiana. Hey, Kathy. Just found me. I seem to have been, even my notifications, I don't get notifications until a day later. I have no idea what's going on with it. I can't figure it out, and I'm not going to stress over it. I just can't anymore. And I have to admit, I have been a smoker for years, and I have been in the process of quitting. So I'm down to 1 cigarette a day. And it is just terrible to try to get rid of this 1 cigarette. It's crazy. I go out, I just hate going outside because it's cold out there. So I'm down to 1, and I just can't stop that 1 for some reason. I'm just going to lay this back down. All right, that's better. Okay, so we're going to use our little circle. Now I have a little small, you can see a small carousel, little carousel horse. Well, it's hard, Kathy. Bill quit when he went into cardiogenic shock, and that was what, December 5th of 2021, I think. And I was going to, but the stress was just killing me. And then I just slowly started to wean away. And like I said, I'm down to, oh, wrong one, down to the 1 cigarette a day. So that's a pretty good feat, I think, for right now. All right, so we're going to grab Daffodil Delight. And I am going to use, here's a little saddle. Okay. I am going to ink this up. And same thing, we're going to line it up. Make sure it's lined up. There's his saddle. And then this time we're going to use the Calypso Coral for his hair. Now this is what I had trouble with for some reason this afternoon. I'm going to stand up and see if I can't line this up better. Okay, here's hoping for the best. Oh, that's good. All right, so then he has Calypso Coral. And I am going to grab those rhinestones. And this time I am going to put it right here at the top. And While I'm thinking about it, let's just color up another so it has a little bit of time to dry. Okay, so here's our carousel horse. That's true, Kathy. Money for sure, and health-wise, it's gonna be, it'll be great, because I do feel different already, and I know that one cigarette bothers me. So I'm thinking about just for the end, this end, to help me along. I think I'm gonna buy those stop smoking patches just to get me past this one cigarette. All right, so I'm doing some Daffodil Delight and just adding a little bit of color to the edges because I'm not doing anything else to this layer. Let me just wipe my hand. I just got, all right. So I just wanted to add just a little something to the edges. We can pull our card back in. We're going to adhere it to our designer series paper. And okay, I was lining up the pole with the lines in in the designer series paper. And then I'm going to grab some dimensionals and we are going to pop this layer up onto the front of the card. I'm just going to stand up to make sure I get my little horse on there straight. Okay. So there it is so far. Now I'm going to grab that scrap piece of paper I had, and this time let's just, that's okay. This time we're going to grab some Calypso coral. Oops. I didn't even cut out a tag for this one. So we're going to ink up that banner in Calypso coral and give it a stamp. Ooh, it must have shifted. Let me do that again. Yep, that stinks. Let me get a piece of paper. I have all these little scraps. Let's do this again. All right, so we're just going to, much better. That's what happens when you're going too fast. And then we're going to grab the Let's Celebrate stamp. I think it's in here. Yes, it is. I'm going to lay that down and then pick it up. And we're going to grab our memento again. And stamp our Let's Celebrate. Let's grab some washi tape. Here's the banner. We're going to just line this up. Oops. I had it lined up. As you can see, Karen, I never did get my nails done today. You sent me those beautiful sets, and Never got a chance today to do my nails. I'm trying to get my bathroom finished. I'm painting my bathroom. And it's so much work. But I'm doing everything. I'm changing everything in there. So it's taken me some time. All right, so now we're going to grab our Let's Celebrate. And again, I'm going to line it up so my Celebrate is straight. Okay, let's grab our ribbon. And we can tie our bow. Aw, thanks, Karen. I've been breaking them, and I should go and get a manicure so they can fix them so they look nice, and have her just put on, no nail polish so that I can come home and do them. All right, I am going to add my bow right here to the bottom of that pole. All right, and there is the front of our card. Now you can add more little elements if you want. And then we're going to get the inside, and this is, I'll show you this one. It just fits this bottom piece here. And I am going to grab the small little flowers and our Calypso coral. And we have a Daffodil Delight that measures 5 3/8 by 3 1/8. And then this should be 5 1/4 by 3. And it is. So we're just going to lay our layer down. And quick and easy, I'm going to ink up, stamp, and stamp. Ink up, stamp, and stamp. Ink up. So we're just going to stamp these flowers right along the bottom. Just add a little bit of something to the inside. Let's add a little bit of glue. And layer these together. And then add it to the center of our card. Well, this one piece wants to keep folding the opposite direction. All right. So here is our first card, or our second card, and here is our first card. So I hope you like them tonight. If you would like these make and takes, just head to my online store and use that host code before the month runs out. And I have not decided yet whether I am going to do my video tomorrow. It will depend on how far I get in the bathroom. Thanks, Stu. Thanks, Sheila. So, thank you for joining me. I'll talk to everybody in the morning. I'll let you know first thing in the morning. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, Karen. Thanks for joining me. Have a great night. Bye-bye.